Hey guys, it's Alyssia. Today I want to talk to you about protein bars and specifically how to choose a healthy protein bar. So why do we use protein bars? They're quick, they're convenient ways to get protein in, and they taste really good. They fool you into thinking they're almost a candy bar. So I personally use protein bars as a post-workout snack. You don't have to use them for that. Some people just choose to use them as dietary supplements if they're trying to get in more protein, or pre-workout snacks are fine, but I use them as post-workout snacks. That's mostly because they're kind of pricey. Protein bars aren't cheap. They're usually, $2 to $4 a bar. So I kind of justify it as it's my treat, it's my recovery. After a hard workout, I deserve it, so that's when I eat them. Today, I'm going to share some popular brands of protein bars with you and talk about how I decide, how I make the decision for what makes a healthier or less healthy choice of a protein bar. So we're gonna kind of go through these, starting with the ones I think are less healthy choices, and I'll explain why, and then we will end with my favorite protein bars, the ones I love to eat every day. So keep in mind as I go through this that these are all generalized suggestions. So all of this advice may not apply to your lifestyle. My personal fitness goals are building lean muscle, and yours may not be the same. If you're more in tune to weight loss, a lot of this will still be relevant, because even if you're trying to lose weight, you want to usually maintain muscle mass or build a little bit of muscle mass. So but you decide what you want to take and leave and apply to your lifestyle as you see fit. Every bar wants you to think it is healthy. Every protein bar wants you to think it is the healthiest choice, offering you either the most protein or nutrition or whatever it's claiming to give you. But the truth is that most of them are not really any better than a candy bar in disguise. So if you are going to spend the money and the nutrients, then if you're going to spend your calories and your macronutrients on eating something, make sure that it's something you actually want to put in your body. If you're not going to pick up a candy bar, you might not want to pick up some of these protein bars. So the first thing to look at when choosing a protein bar is how much protein there is, right? Because that's why you're eating it. You want to get protein. Now, of course, that's going to depend on your size, your fitness goals, blah, blah, blah. But generally speaking, at least for post-workout, you want a bar that has around 20 grams of protein. So that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. It could have, a little bit more or less depending on, what you're looking for. But when you pick up a bar, you want it to have around 20 grams. When you walk into the store and you go to the protein bar aisle and you're picking out your protein bar, you want to pick up the bar and look at the nutrition label. And so I have here a Kind protein bar. So these bars, probably everyone's seen them. They're advertised as being really clean. They're pretty clean. They've got good, generally good ingredients in them. But here I have a protein Kind bar, and here I have a regular Kind bar. So this one, peanut butter, dark chocolate protein, dark chocolate, nuts and sea salt, only 5 grams of sugar. So both are making health claims. This one is claiming to be a protein bar. When I look at the nutrition label, it has a whopping 7 grams of protein. This not protein Kind bar has 6. So you buy a regular Kind bar, you get 6 grams of protein. You buy the protein, you get 7. Not really a protein bar. Can this not fit into your lifestyle? No, maybe there is somewhere that it can fit in. Maybe you want a bunch, of good carbs or fat or 9 grams of sugar. But if you're looking for protein, this is not the bar to eat. Even though it's telling you it has protein in it, it doesn't have that much. The Luna protein bars. You got regular Luna bars, 9 grams of protein. Luna protein bars, 12 grams. So there's a 3 gram difference. This is not really much better for you, or it's not really more of a protein bar just because it says protein on it. There's only 3 more grams of protein than in the regular Luna bar. So these are protein bars I would say not to eat, even just starting at the basic rule that you want protein in your protein bar. So the next thing to look at after you check the protein content is calories. So it doesn't really matter if it has 20 grams of protein if it has 1,000,000 calories, right? So some of the protein bars that I don't like because of how many calories compared to the amount of protein they have are the following. Cliff Builder protein bar. So it has 20 grams of protein, but it's 270 calories, which isn't terrible, but it's more than you need. Kind of a general rule of thumb I've come to go by, it's not a real rule, it's like my own made up rule, but you can follow it if you want, is aiming for about 10 calories per gram of protein, around there. It could be a little more, a little less, but so if you just add on a 0. If you got 20 grams of protein, you want it to be around 200 calories, thereabouts, maybe a little less if you can find it. Power Crunch. Now these I want to talk about later, but protein to calorie ratio, you've got 14 grams of protein and it's 205 calories. So you're not getting quite as much bang for your buck protein wise. These bars, MetRx Big 100, this is a meal replacement bar, so it's actually not technically a protein bar, but it advertises, it says on the front 28 grams of protein, which it does have 28 grams of protein, but the whole bar is 380 calories. So that's a lot of calories for 28 grams of protein. But keep in mind, it's a meal replacement bar, so it also has a little bit more carbs. This would literally be an entire meal. Now, for some of us, this is maybe more than we would eat in a whole meal. Maybe you don't need the whole thing, maybe you only need half of it. Remember that meal replacement bars and snack bars and energy bars are all different than protein bars. Muscle Milk. These bars, 320 calories for 25 grams of protein. So on the high end. And the Zone Perfect. These are deceiving. It's only 210 calories, but it only has 14 grams of protein. So again, not enough bang for your buck. Okay, so you've looked at the protein, you've looked at the calories. Next, you want to look at the carbs. Now, again, carbs are really going to vary based on your fitness goals. For post-workout and building lean muscle, you do want carbs in your protein bar. So there's a huge disconnect between the idea of carbs being good or bad or the enemy. They're not the enemy. Carbs are good, especially post-workout. You really need them to replenish and recover and rebuild. How many do you need? That's the question. So if you're on a weight loss journey, you might need less carbs, maybe not. But for me, I like to stick to about a 1-to-1 ratio, maybe even a little bit more carbs than protein. 1-to-1 protein to carbs, or 1-to-1.5 protein to carbs. So another bar that I don't know if you've seen around, I saw it at the health food store, Go Macro. It's a vegan protein bar. So maybe, I don't know a lot about vegan protein bars, but maybe I'm assuming it's harder to get the protein in there. This may be an okay option. The problem is there's 37 grams of carbs for 10 grams of protein. So that's like a 4-to-1 ratio carbs to protein for 260 calories. If you're really going for protein, aim for 20, aim for a ratio closer to 1-to-1. Okay, so next macronutrient we want to look at is fat. It can be a little bit controversial because you don't want a ton of fat in your protein bar, especially if it is post-workout, but some fat is good. So you want to look for less than around 10 grams per bar. Of course, this is all relative to the amount of calories. You don't want to just look at the fat and then not look at the calories or carbs or protein. But with all of the other general rules we've been making, around 20 grams of protein, around 200 calories, around 20 to 30 grams of carbs, you want, I'd say, less than 10 grams of fat. So this these protein crunch bars, they're really good, but they have a lot of fat in them. They have 12 to 14 grams of fat, and it's about equal to the carbs and the protein. So it's not really a good balance for a protein bar. It's more like an equal parts protein, fat, carbs bar. As an alternative to a candy bar though, it's great, and they taste just like a Kit Kat. The next thing to talk about after we've hit all those macronutrients are sugar and ingredients, and sugar is an ingredient, and bars that aren't really protein bars that make you want to think that they are. Here's a bar that I found at the store. Full bar. It is clinically proven to help you lose weight. I have no idea how, because when I look at these stats, it's 170 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 28 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of protein. So not only are those stats pretty much terrible, because usually when you want to lose weight, you want to eat a little bit more protein and a little bit less carbs, generally speaking, and this is the antithesis of that. The first ingredient, oh, I guess it's not focused, but just trust me, it's brown rice syrup, which is just a sneaky word for sugar. So, ingredients count. Ingredients are really, I mean, maybe not to everyone they count, but to me, I like to look at the ingredients and know what they all are and know that they're all gonna benefit me. I don't wanna eat something that, I don't wanna put it in my body if it isn't gonna do me any good, especially if I'm eating it as a nutritional supplement. Cliff Bars. Everyone thinks these are protein bars, but there's not. They're not. There's 10 grams of protein in this for 240 calories and 43 grams of carbs. So usually, I mean, I don't know the exact history of this bar, but I think it's for mountain climbers or rock climbers or whatever. That's what the guy's doing on the cover. So it's probably more like an energy bar. Energy bars usually have a lot of carbs because it's for when you're doing an activity, but this is not a protein bar. So this is not your ideal post-workout snack. And even the Cliff protein bar, this one, same company, this is their protein version. I already told you, I'm not nuts about it. 22 grams of sugar in this, and how much in this one? 21 grams of sugar in that. That's a lot of sugar, especially for muscle building. We really want to avoid that much sugar if we can. Almond Joys, these have 20 grams of sugar. That's less than this bar. 220 calories, this is 270. 26 grams of carbs, this is 30. So really the only place that this beats the Almond Joy is in protein, but that's because they put a lot of protein in it because it's a protein bar, right? And honestly, looking at these nutrition labels, this has more ingredients than the candy bar. So is the Almond Joy a better choice? I'm not gonna tell you to go eat candy instead of a protein bar, but I'm saying this is one instance where you're pretty much picking up a candy bar instead of a protein bar. Luna bars. Everyone thinks they're really healthy. They taste okay, but the ingredients: soy rice crisps, soy protein isolate in organic rice flour, organic toasted oats, which is rolled oats in organic dried cane syrup, at least it's organic roasted soybeans, organic brown rice syrup, which is sugar. Also, remember, I've said this before in my videos, but the ingredients have to be listed in the label by their prevalence by weight. So whatever ingredients are first are more prevalent. That means they are the most prevalent ingredient in the entire bar or whatever product you're looking at. If sugar or syrup or brown rice syrup or organic brown rice syrup or any of those other names for sugar are the first ingredient or towards the top, one of the first 2 or 3 ingredients, that means sugar is used a lot in that bar. That's not what you want. That's a candy bar. Lara bars. There's a lot of hype about them because they're clean. The ingredients: cashews, dates, chocolate chips, blah, blah, blah. Pretty good ingredients and very few. I like to see that. But just because it is a bar making health claims doesn't mean it's a protein bar. All bars aren't created equal, right? So this one is claiming it's a good source of fiber. It has 3 grams of fiber out of the 28 grams of carbs. And 1 bar is equal to 1/4 cup of fruit. Well, you're probably in this instance better off eating an actual piece of fruit or a quarter cup of fruit, and you'll get more fiber from that, and it'll probably taste better. It's really not fair for me to say that because I've never actually tasted one of these, but maybe I should try it right now. I'll just taste it right now. I guess I can't return this one. This is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Give it to me.
Not good. So, things about those bars, they use ingredients like dates and cashews, which are good, clean ingredients, but remember, cashews still have a lot of fat, dates still have a lot of sugar, and even though I like to choose cleaner ingredients, sugar is still sugar. Power bars. Another example of an energy bar. This is not a protein bar. Now, Power Bar does have a protein bar, same company, but this is the energy bar, this is the protein bar, so know the difference. So if you're looking for like post-workout or protein supplement, this is the way to go, even though actually I don't really love this bar. This bar has 12 grams of sugar in it, which is just not necessary, even though it does have 20 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, 210 calories, 6 grams of fat. All the other things sound pretty good, but it has 12 grams of sugar, only 4 grams of fiber, and it has a ton of ingredients on the ingredient label. And that's kind of what I boil down to. If I'm like, okay, this hits almost all my criteria, I look at the ingredients, and if there's stuff I don't know, and if I really can't count all of the ingredients on my fingers, then I nix it. All right, hopefully they'll let me return that still. Skinny girl. I've never tasted these, but I've tasted their vodka and it's pretty good. Don't put that in there. First of all, ingredients before I even see the nutrition label. Ingredient number 1, organic brown rice syrup. Sugar. 180 calories, 8 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs. We're good so far, but protein, 7 grams. So it's not advertising itself as a protein bar, but it's making a lot of other health claims like it's natural, it's kosher, it's high fiber. Yeah, if you consider 5 grams of fiber high. And it's only got 7 grams of protein. I would say this ain't gonna make you skinny, girl. Atkins. Low carb. That's what Atkins is all about, right? There's 23 grams of carbs in this. Now, 9 of those are from fiber, which is pretty good. 1 of those is from sugar, 11 from sugar alcohols. Now, sugar alcohols aren't terrible. They're not metabolized as carbohydrates, which is why they don't count in the net carbs. And also 250 calories, 17 grams of protein, and 14 grams of fat. I know Atkins is all about lower carb and higher fat, but that just seems a little high. All right, Special K protein bars. This protein bar only gives you 10 grams of protein and it's 170 calories. So definitely not quite hitting the mark. Plus, there's 3.5 grams of saturated fat out of the 4.5 grams of fat in the bar. Now, the worst thing about the Special K protein bars, and really all the Special K products, is the ingredients list is like 3.5 miles long. It's so many ingredients. I don't know what 90% of them are, but a lot of them end in ose, which means sugar or some sort of sugar. This bar has 15 grams of sugar and 10 grams of protein. So there's more sugar in it than protein. What's the point of eating this? Going back to candy bars, these Power Crunch, I've never actually eaten this, I just saw it, but I was so intrigued. I was like, oh my God, it's like a candy bar. It's chocolate with nuts in it, and it's 100 calories and 5 grams of protein and 8 carbs and 6 grams of fat, but they trick you because there's actually 2 servings in this bar. So it's 200 calories and 12 grams of fat and 16 grams of carbs, and it does have 10 grams of protein, which is better than a candy bar, but still, other than that, it's really about the same. So maybe it's more nutritious. I do know what most of these ingredients are, which is good, but again, you know, macronutrient wise, not much better. So we have come to what are the good choices. We've talked about all of these terrible choices of protein bars. What ones can I actually eat? So the top 3 that I would say are worth eating would be these 3. So you've got Pure Protein, Think Thin, and Quest. Now really, I only eat one of these protein bars, and it's Quest. But if I couldn't for some reason get Quest bars, I would say these are probably your next best bet. The reasons I don't eat these are mostly ingredients. So this Pure Protein bar has a lot of ingredients in it. It also does use sucralose, which is Splenda, which is fine. You know, a lot of protein bars use Splenda, but where I can avoid it, I try to. And I don't know what a lot of the other ingredients are, but you get good stats. For 200 calories, you get 20 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. So pretty good. And they taste okay. They don't taste great, but they're like, you know, manageable. I don't feel like it's a treat after my workout though. The Think Thin bars. I've never actually tasted one of these, but the stats: 230 calories, 20 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, 8 grams of fat. Everything macronutrient wise is good here. 0 grams of sugar because you have 12 grams of sugar alcohols. So if you know you're someone that can handle sugar alcohols and it doesn't bother your digestive system, then this could be an option for you. The reason I don't choose this is there's only 2 grams of fiber. So out of those 25 grams of carbs, only 2 of them are fiber. And that is the exact, well, one of the many reasons that I end up choosing Quest bars. This is cinnamon roll flavor. It's one of my favorite flavors. This is cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough flavor, also one of my favorites. I also love white chocolate raspberry, double chocolate chunk, cookies and cream. I think those are my main favorites. Am I missing one? They're all pretty good, but those are my favorites. The stats on these are amazing. You get, on the cinnamon roll one, as an example, for 170 calories, you get 20 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat. None of that is saturated fat. And of those 25 grams of carbs, 17 grams are fiber, dietary fiber. So in all these other bars that I showed you today, the max that we saw was like 5 grams of fiber. Generally, you see 2 to 3. But in Quest bars, this is 17 grams of fiber. Net carbs, total net carbs in this bar is 3 because it only has 1 gram of sugar and 5 grams of erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, a natural one. So this bar for me is a win. On top of all the stats, it tastes freaking amazing. It tastes good plain. I like to just carry them with me in my bag, but also they are really good heated up. So in the microwave or in the oven, if you bake them, toaster oven, whatever. And there's a lot of recipes. If you've never seen the Quest 15-second recipes, now's the time to check it out. Where did I put that other one? The chocolate chip cookie dough. 190 calories, 8 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs, 21 grams of protein. Again, 17 grams of fiber. You just can't beat it. What is their secret? I don't know. But the other great thing about these, so we talked about, you know, all of those macronutrients, the calorie ratio, the carb to protein ratio is all good. The ingredients are also awesome. They're super clean. They're pretty much the cleanest protein bar you can find. They're just delicious. So there you have it. All of the protein bars, how I make decisions on which ones I want to consume based on their macronutrients, their ratios, their ingredients, and at the end of the day, the only one I eat is Quest. It doesn't mean it's the only good one, but it's the only good one. It's the only good one for me. Because I do love Quest bars so much, I thought it would be fun to make my own 15-second recipe, hashtag 15-second recipe. So thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend. Maybe you'll help someone make a healthier choice on their protein bars. Stay tuned for next week. We have another 2-ingredient takeover recipe coming up. There's only 2 left in the series, so make sure you check it out. Bye!